covered the Targaryen monarchs in excruciating detail. Excruciating detail. I know, I have an obsession with the Targaryens. But what about some non-monarch Targaryens that were tragic and terrible? Well, this video, I want to talk about one of those. I think she's more so terrible than tragic. I don't know, maybe half and half. Let me know at the end of this video whether you consider this Targaryen more tragic or more terrible. So this video's tragic and terrible Targaryen. Yeah, I guess I'm making this into a series now. Don't know why. I just wanted the excuse to talk about Targaryens some more. So don't come at me. So this video's terrible and tragic Targaryen is Princess Viserra Targaryen. Viserra was child number 10. Yeah, child number 10. And the 6th daughter of King Jaehaerys I, the 4th Targaryen king to sit the Iron Throne, and Queen Alysanne Targaryen. Now, all men agree that Viserra was quite beautiful, with deep purple eyes, silver gold hair, flawless white skin, fine features, and so much grace at a young age, it was almost unsettling. This beauty would lead her into a lot of trouble, because just like quite a few people that are very, very beautiful, she knew she was beautiful. Knowing she was beautiful made her very vain. In fact, when a squire stuttering told her that she was a goddess, she outright agreed with him. Yeah, I am. But besides her beauty, she was also sly and very strong-willed, though she would never use crying or screaming to get her way. But let's keep talking about her beauty, which, by the way, she was the most beautiful of her sisters. It led to many lords, knights, and boys enamored with her, falling over themselves to get her attention. This non-stop attention, as the maesters say, fed her vanity until it became a raging fire. And she would use her beauty to pit boys and people that were a bit green behind the ears against each other. She would send them on quests or missions or contests to fight to have her favor. In one example, to win her favor for a joust, she made squires swim the Blackwater Rush, climb the Tower of the Hand, or set free all the ravens in the rookery. And she actually once took 6 boys into the dragon pit and said whoever puts his head in a dragon's mouth would win her virginity. Thankfully, the Dragon Keepers were there to go, yeah, let's not do that, okay? Probably a bad idea. What's interesting about this is despite playing these games, Viserra never had any intention of sleeping with the boys. Her mother was quoted to say that she played with the boys as she used to play with her puppies. There was absolutely no winning Viserra's heart or maidenhead because she wanted to marry her older brother, Balon. Not because she loved him, but because she wanted to be queen. And in a total trash move, Viserra told her closest friend, who was a bit empty-headed, you know, Balon's wife, which was Balon's sister and also Viserra's sister, you know, she's been dead for 2 years and he should just get over it and marry me because I'm way prettier than she ever was and also her nose was straight broken. Can you imagine talking that kind of trash about your dead older sister that was married to your brother and your brother was still grieving the death of his wife 2 years ago? Kind of fucked. Her mother also thought so because she arranged for Viserra in 86 AC, when she was 15 years old, to marry Lord Theomore Manderly of White Harbor, a man that had been a fine warrior in his youth, but now was a fierce old man with 4 wives in the grave. This was a marriage that her father Jaehaerys hoped would tie the realm further together, with a great house of the north being married into the Targaryen family, and Alysanne liking Lord Manderly because of the warm welcome he gave her when she went to the north for the first time, and there were some other northern lords that were perhaps not too nice to her. As you can imagine, she did not want to marry the much older gentleman, but also someone that didn't have as much power as what she wanted, and she told her mother, if you like him so much, why don't you marry him? And then she ran to her father, Jaehaerys, and went, hey, I don't want to marry him. And Jaehaerys went, well, 1, it's a good match. 2, your mother is in charge of betrothals, and I'm not fucking with that, so you're gonna marry him. So after getting no sympathy from her parents, she decided, you know, I'm gonna seduce my brother that is 14 years older than me with 3 kids and still grieving his dead sister wife because I'm a piece of shit teenager. She ended up getting past his guards and made it into his bedchamber one night, got naked, and waited for him. While she waited, she decided to help herself to his wine and just got fucking wrecked. By the time Prince Baelon arrived to his bedchamber, he found his sister naked, drunk in bed, and just completely out of it. He immediately kicked her out, saying some discourteous things, and it took 2 maids and a Kingsguard to get her back to her own room. Which is just kind of gross behavior in general, but I understand where she was coming from. And it wouldn't be the first time a Targaryen sibling has tried to seduce another sibling through that sort of wackiness. Failing to seduce her brother, Viserra admitted defeat and went, okay, I'm gonna have to marry this guy. But before I do that, I'm gonna go out with my friends at night and we're gonna have just a great time, one more time of fun before I go to the north and just freeze my ass off. Which is where we lead into the tragic part of this Targaryen. For this night of final fun, she traded her clothes with one of her maids to escape the guards that were there to make sure she didn't get in trouble, as she had a habit of doing. And she left the Red Keep. 4 young knights and 2 minor lordlings were her companions, with one offering to show her parts of the city she had never seen before, such as the rat pits of Fleet Bottom, the brothels of the Street of Silk, and more. As they traveled around the city, they indulged in ale, mead, and wine. At midnight, with several of her knight companions just being blackout drunk and leaving her, what was left of her companions decided, we should horse race back to the Red Keep. That is a great fucking idea. So that's what they did. They laughed as they wildly raced through the streets, with people having to jump out of the way of their racing horses. At the foot of Aegon's High Hill is where tragedy struck. Viserra's horse collided with one of her companions, and the knight's horse lost its footing and fell, breaking the knight's leg under his horse. The princess made it out much worse, with her being thrown headlong into a wall, breaking her neck instantly. So Viserra ended up dying at the age of 15 because she decided to party one last time before marrying a much older man in the north, where she didn't want to be, and decided to drunkenly race a horse through King's Landing. Yeah, she was kind of a terrible person beforehand, but keep in mind she was a teenager who was incredibly beautiful and royalty, so of course she was probably a little stuck up, and I really don't think she deserves to die at 15 being thrown off a horse, because she just was a normal young person that was royalty and incredibly beautiful. So I don't know, you let me know in the comment section down below. Do you consider this Targaryen to be more terrible or more tragic? Make sure you like, subscribe, and come back for more sci-fi fantasy videos.